Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video, and welcome to what I got for Christmas, because I was mentioning in my Christmas video, it's going to be a while till I can post my next video. The reason being, I got a couple of things that were taking up quite a lot of time to film and prepare and prep. And that's what this is. I got a steering wheel controller, which is now throwing me off the road. Which is pretty cool. I'm enjoying it here. I'm actually playing it. Playing the Continental Circus on the Tato Legends pack for original Xbox. But the neat thing is, this will play so many more types of titles and that. And that to me was a contributing factor. I thought, you know, am I ever going to use a steering wheel controller? If I've got one that can do this kind of stuff, yes, I will. And I just wanted to kind of show you off what this thing can do and go into some of the details. Why'd I get it and how much am I enjoying it? So, well, I did extend my time, but I'm dead here. So let's check it all out. Here is the Catz MC2 steering wheel with pedals, or pedals, I should say. You've got two of them there. You can see MC2 in the logo there. They're actually, I gotta say, they feel pretty decent. I haven't tried them yet. That's what this video is all about, but they seem to be pretty good. We'll soon know. And here's the steering wheel controller itself. Self-centers. Feels pretty solid. Price tag was certainly awesome. And what I really like about this one, two things. Well, actually multiple things. The two real killer apps, though, are... This is a controller of Catz that have done many different steering wheel controllers, but what's nice about this one is this will work on PlayStation or GameCube or original Xbox. So I have 3 different console racing options here. This controller is supposed to work for all of them, and in fact, the buttons even have X, A or circle, B or triangle, L or little white dot, R or little black dot. So you've got a layout here that will work in either of the 3 consoles, and I'm really looking forward to trying this out. Now, I've wanted a steering wheel controller for a while, and this one was the one that kind of made the cut for multiple reasons. A, it'll do all these other consoles. And B, it will, whereas most steering wheels will sit on a table, and this does have little suction cups for that option. The other nice thing is it's really designed to fit on your lap. Can you see the curve there? Your legs go in there, and it's even got little extenders here. You see that? Yeah, so it'll actually hug your legs. And I gave it a very quick rudimentary try on Christmas Day just to see what it would feel like. Feels good. I mean, I'm not the shortest person in the world, and I thought, is this thing going to even fit? Or is this thing enormous? And it's not. You know, it's a very reasonable size. It's actually smaller than most images and videos I watched for reviews of this thing gave me the impression of. I thought, oh, this thing's going to be way too big, way too bulky. It's actually very small. You know, I think 16 inches across and maybe 12 inches front to back. Like it's actually a very decent little set of dimensions. It fits perfectly on top of all my main machine. So I've got a storage option. I've got somewhere to keep it out of harm's way. So that's great. I want to fire this thing up. I want to get my legs under there and try it out in a couple of racing games. And that's what this video is going to be. I'm just going to give it a rudimentary little startup just to see what it's like. On the side here, you've got can you make that out? Yeah, like a PC type 9-pin connector there, which the pedals plug into using that connector there. So I'm going to wire this whole thing up and just try out a handful of steering wheel games. Now, I think what I'll do is, going forward, make a version of the game review that is just using the controller, and then another one just using the steering wheel and pedals. But for now, let's take a swing, take it for a little spin this new controller with an Xbox game, a GameCube game, and now it does say this adapter here is for PS2. I don't have a PS2. I'm assuming Sony, I don't think, changed a lot with that connector. I'm assuming that'll work in the PS1. We're about to find out. So let's give this a whirl. Okay, let's give this a try. I got my knees standing by, and this is Project Gotham Racing 2, which I've already done a video about. I know what it feels like to drive, so let's put the steering controller on my knees. I know it's, I'll have some other shots in a second, but this feels pretty good. I'm going to extend those little arms down so that it hugs my knees better. Yeah, I can actually, this way, with those little things down, I can actually kind of grip the base of it better. Now, all I'm going to do, I haven't plugged it in yet. Let's see what happens when I plug it in. Okay, that's it plugged in. Nothing so far. Do I hit start? What happens? Ooh, I may have started the game. Mode? Ooh! Okay, yes. The other nice thing, it has a calibrate mode where you can actually adjust the dead zone of the steering wheel. So those red lights are kind of mappable. If you're finding a game you got to turn too much loosey-goosey, then you can adjust it. I'm going to leave it as is for now because I don't want to mess around with that stuff. So let's calibrate. So we know we're on. I got the pedals down below. We'll worry about that later. I just want to try this out. And single player, just going to proceed wherever the heck I left off here. Interesting, it doesn't like light up other than the calibration. It gives no indication that it's actually on, but just, all right, fine. And, ooh, there you go. That's a D-pad in the center. Let's do a street race. Okay, welcome to Florence. Let's give this a try. Ooh, but that lights up for the accelerator. That's cool. Feels pretty good. Ooh, the brakes work. Okay, yeah. Oh, I'll go that way. Ooh, I mean, it works. It definitely works. I have a feeling this is going to be a lot better. I mean, whoa, sorry, not paying attention. Yeah, this, obviously racing games will truly benefit from having a steering wheel, but I'd always thought, you know, these are, whoa. Okay, how do I reverse? You hit the, okay. Interesting. I guess this does have a stick, so had I chosen manual, maybe I could have hit reverse. Yikes. Okay. It totally works, though. Do I have different views? Ooh, I don't want to look around. I don't want to take a chance, because this is quite sim-like, this game. But it's working. It's working great. Wow, that's so cool. Okay, so Xbox works. Let's try GameCube next. Alright, so I've got 18-wheelers loaded up here. No difference in the steering wheel controller as far as like being notified, so I'm just going to give it a try hitting the start button here. And let's just do arcade. I've already done a video about 18-wheelers, so I'm not really going to review it. I'm just going to drive it here. Okay, I'm applying. Ooh. I know I'm plugged in. Oh. Okay. I gotta shift down. Why am I... Do I have to take my foot off the brake? No, okay, these buttons are working. Shift down. Oh, that's a button combo, probably. Ah. Okay, you know what? I'll have a look in the options in a second. Let's just get this thing. Yeah, the pedal is being recognized as a as the shifter, not as the accelerant. So I gotta figure that out. But it's working. Whoa! I'm making a mess of this, but it is working. Okay. Feels pretty good. I just gotta remap the controls. So I think what I'm gonna do is, well, I'm gonna try GameCube, kind of successful. Let's see if it works with the PS1. Okay, let's see if Ridge Racer Type 4 works. The light came on the controller, so that's something. Cross your fingers. Yeah, I think. Oh, yeah, okay. This one will need a little calibrating, which I can certainly do at a later time. Ooh, yeah. Okay, yes, this will need a little bit of configuration, but it's getting recognized. This steering wheel works with PS1, so that's great. So I've got three different, well, more than three different consoles I can play this with. Let me try one more, because I'm intrigued. Well, if it works with GameCube, that means it works with Wii, and I should be able to use this for Mario Kart Wii. Let's try it out. Yeah. Oh my god, it's working! Oh, no, it's not. Hang on. I started to move there. No. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. Doesn't seem to always recognize the pedal, so I might have to do some little reconfiguration here, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Yeah, does the brakes work? No. Yeah, it doesn't always recognize it, so I'm not sure if that's a fault of the pedal controller or what, but you know what, I can just put my finger on this thing for the time being. Did work with Xbox, so I don't know what's happening there. But look at that! I can play Mario Kart with a steering wheel. This is awesome. Very cool. So let me mess around with it for a while. I want to try some other off the beaten track type of games here. So now here's an interesting one. Continental Circus on the original Xbox in the Taito Legends collection. Let me get on my sort of pole position experience. This is... Okay, here we go. This will be very interesting to see how... Yeah, this is going to be great. And I mean, there's a lot of... there is pole position in... get my gear going. There is pole position... Oh, I got a pit in. How do I get to the pit? That's over here, I think. Oh, no, trouble. Yeah, there is pole position. There's Spy Hunter. There's a bunch of games that are on sort of retro collections. I'll now be able to play them with the steering wheel, and I think that's going to be awesome. Of course, I'm about to explode, so this is maybe not the best example. Ooh, is that the pit? Come on, get me into the pit before I die. Oh, no. Well, there we go. I blew up. So, maybe not my best record as far as or my career mode for playing. Oh, let's keep going here. But I think this would be really, really cool. Like with a lot of the old retro games. I'm really looking forward to hard driving / race driving. That's on one of these collections. Do I need to pit? No, I don't. That would be very, very cool. If I could do this using this steering wheel, I'll be able to like enjoy a lot of the old games with a new lease on life. Because trying to play something like this with a standard controller or pole position or any of those is just not that much fun. But this way, you know, I was thinking of actually getting one of those, oh, my time is up. I was thinking of getting one of those arcade 1-up racing wheel, or, you know, like they've got Ridge Racing and stuff like that. And I was thinking, I don't have the room, I don't have the space. This thing has a whole pile of, yeah. Oh, well, game over. I didn't do it in time. But with this setup and this little controller, I'll actually be able to do all of the stuff that was on Ridge Racer and all those other big cabinets with the big TV here and be able to play retro stuff. It's awesome. Side note, by the way, I actually figured out why Big Wheel 18-wheeler wasn't working. I did have to remap some of the controls, and then it was totally working with the pedal, acceleration pedal. So that's good to know. I need to mess with some of these and try out a variety of things. I'm not going to film them all, so I'll be back in a little while, having actually tried out this controller with a bunch of different retro games, kind of like this Continental Circus, and I will let you know what I think as kind of a conclusion. Okay, so I wanted to mess around with that calibration I mentioned, like when I was playing Mario Kart and stuff. I was mentioning how there's a lot of wiggle, and you see the car isn't really getting recognized, or it's not noticing that I'm turning. I have to turn pretty hard. This is the Rush the Rock that comes on the Midway Arcade Treasures 3 for the original Xbox. Figured I'd sit back here. I need a GameCube extension cable for this thing to sit nice and far away from the TV. So I'm gonna deal with Xbox to begin with for most of this video. Like I say, this thing does not get, like, I'm moving the wheel quite a lot, and I thought maybe now is the time to mess around with that calibration thing. So let me just pause, and we'll go into, on the wheel itself, if I hit, I think it's that one? No, that one there. You've got 2 red lights and 2 green lights, and you can control them with the D-pad. You can go with the up and down, you can change where the red is, and with the side to side, you can change where the green is. Now, I don't know quite what the difference is between, so I'm going to just set them dead center as much as I can. Okay, that's as far as green goes. So I've got red dead center and green tight as it can go. I assume that means the game is going to be much more, every movement I make with the wheel is going to be recognized. Let's find out here. And of course, exit out of, there we go. There we go. All right, let's proceed. Whoa, okay. Now first I have to stop crashing. Oh, okay, yes. Yes, that's a lot more responsive now. And that's as tight as it can get. But that's pretty good now. I'm actually getting a lot, well, okay, I'm spinning out of control because I'm just wiggling with it too much. But that does feel better. And I really like the fact that this controller has that as an option. I can actually finesse the controls and adjust them, sort of sync them in. I can make the dead zone much tighter, which means I can control better across different games. I know different games have all got their own sort of settings for these things, but the fact that I can do this on the controller itself, oh, there's some major error. The fact that I can do this on the controller itself really makes her good. Let's see how this turn goes. I'm on the beginning easy level. I just wanted to try out how is the responsiveness. This is pretty good, actually. Yeah, I am liking this. So that is essentially, for me, that was sort of the killer app for this particular. Now, I'm not sure if all the Mad Catz steering wheels have got this. Definitely this yellow one. I had noticed a lot of reviews online saying you can actually increase the sensitivity, adjust that dead zone with the calibration feature, and that really makes a difference. Also, let me show one other thing that was not coming through in my earlier video. So I'm going to select my car. We'll go with that same one. This time I'm going to go with the manual transmission because this stick does work. This stick does work. I'll show you here. I wasn't really doing it properly in those other videos. But now you'll see down in the bottom, there's like a stick controller there. I can shift down to 2, or up to 2. Yeah, 2 is higher than 1. And up to 3. And whoa, up to 4. So the shifter does work. Can I shift down? I can. So that's pretty cool. I can actually do shifts. And I can control how much this thing needs to be spun in order for it to be recognized by the game. Really, really like that, because there's certain games, like I mentioned earlier, hard driving, race driving. That's a game where that sort of thing is going to be really critical to the gameplay. And now with both being able to calibrate my controls and do the shifter, that's a real benefit of this game, this controller. That calibration feature also addresses the elephant in the room. Some of you who have been watching my channel for a while might be asking, hey Kev, don't you have the Nijicon steering wheel controller? Yes, I do. Don't you have a way to hook it up to the original Xbox and the PlayStation 3 and various other consoles? Haven't you shown that before? Yes, I can. But I have been finding that this, as much as I like this steering controller, first of all, the lack of buttons is a bit problematic. Like, you've got a D-pad, accelerate, decelerate, a couple of options here that not all games are recognizing, and that's about it. But the other thing that I was really finding with a lot of games that I play is I'm going along, and as I get toward the extreme ends of this turning capability, it's just not tight enough. Like, this controller is great, but I need something that I can really cinch in the strength of the turn. This has got that. This little ability to calibrate and change the red and the green settings, that makes this a million times better than the Nijicon, in my opinion, so far. I mean, I've only been playing with it for a little bit, but I like that. Okay, well, I just made a very interesting discovery. The calibration settings do not save game to game. Like, I was setting it up as after I did Rush the Rock, I thought, oh, I know, I'll try out a little race driving, which, by the way, is awesome with this thing. I'm going to do it as a separate video because this one's getting too long, but I've done the best I've ever done on race driving using this controller. But interestingly, so I set up the calibration as mentioned, so I brought that in like, hang on, like that, and I played the game, and then I quit out of race driving, and I played something else just to see what it's like with this controller, and it was back to that other default. It was back down to here. So you do actually have to set this calibration between each game. I guess the loading screen of each racing game resets this. So that's something I hadn't thought of. I guess between games you will need to recalibrate, but once it's set once for a game, it stays that way. I had a few games of race driving, didn't have to reset this each time. So interesting discovery. And in the interest of thoroughness, I fired up Mario Kart Wii again. First of all, the wire from here all the way to the Wii is actually long enough, so I don't need an extension cable. And secondly, in the case of Mario Kart Wii itself, you'll notice it's the A button for the accelerate, and there is no option to remap the controls. So I am going to have to hold down, where is it, that button there for Mario Kart. I can use the pedals. They are being recognized as the shoulder buttons, but the left shoulder button is use item, and the right shoulder button, which is the accelerator foot pedal, is actually the brake. So that's why I was getting all messed up. The nice thing about 18-wheeler that I was playing earlier, you can reselect or remap the controls. So at least I can play that one with the gas pedal correctly. But for Mario Kart, I will have to hit the, or hold in this button all the time. That's fine. At least the cable's long enough. So yeah, in conclusion, that's what I got for Christmas. The Catz MC2 steering wheel, the yellow one that has the calibration option in it. Really, really love that. Love the fact that it will work on quite a number of different consoles, including the Wii. And as I mentioned a long time ago, when I hooked up this, my Nijicon, to the PlayStation 3, big shout out goes to Wired Up Retro, because he showed you can hook up a Nijicon through a whole variety of stuff to an original Xbox, and that is really, really awesome. I think with the same wiring, I'll be able to get this controller working on the PS3. That's for a future video down the road. Again, as I mentioned with the calibration, this thing is awesome for PS1 specifically. Yes, you can kind of use it on the PS3. Yes, you can kind of use it for the original Xbox. But you need to like remap your head around what the D-pad is used for. And because this doesn't have any calibration option, when you reach the extreme edges of the turns, I find it doesn't feel right. It isn't quite there. It's good. I'm glad I have it. I'm glad I give it a try. But compared to this, I don't think I'll be using this as my steering controller. This definitely will be my steering controller for a whole variety of different consoles. That wire is great. As I mentioned, the GameCube, where is it here? Yeah, GameCube does reach to my Wii. When extended, this thing's about 9 feet long, so bear that in mind. Maybe do some measurements in your room, see if that'll work for you. The pedals are good. Now, one thing I'm really noticing, having now given a few games, steering games, driving games a try, if you're going into this thinking this is going to feel like it does in an arcade cabinet, you're wrong. Arcade cabinets, when they do their, how far do you have to push this? It tends to be, first of all, mechanical, like steel construction and a lot more high durability. This is good, but I find that a lot of the games I have played, they're video games for home consoles. This is just an adapted controller, and the amount of gas you have to apply feels a little loose. It'd be nice if the pedals themselves had a calibration option like the steering wheel, because there's sometimes I feel like I'd like to have just a little bit of this giving me a lot more gas. Same with the brakes. One other nice thing with this design, this second pedal here, or this footrest here, I was starting a few games where I had both feet on these things, and I was feeling myself very kind of off balance, and it was throwing off my game. And then I realized, no, you put one foot down there to hold this thing in place. It does have some nice rubber feet down below, but you use your left foot to hold that in place, and then with your right foot you apply and brake and stuff. So that was a little bit of a learning curve when I'm used to using, just shoulder pads for that, or shoulder buttons for that purpose. But outside of that, I'm very, very thrilled. As I mentioned, I got it for Christmas, but it was because it dropped to a really reasonable price. I think it was like 20 or 30 bucks. It was in Canada, so the shipping was very easy. It was another 10, 20 bucks. So I got this for what I thought was a steal. I've seen people on YouTube mention they got this thing for only a couple of dollars out of the charity shop. So if you happen to be in a thrift store, keep an eye open for this one. It's great. Big shout out to the seller. They actually included with this controller a nice little thanks card that even said on the back here, your order made my day. I hope this package makes yours. It has, and it will. I'm going to do a lot more videos about this thing, but this one's getting a little long. So for now, sorry it's taken a while to make this video and a couple of others that are in the pipeline. I am back. I hope to see you again soon. And until then, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.